Hello, good morning to our BAC members, BAC Secretariat, BAC DPWH, to our observer, to our prospective bidders, and of course to all our viewers by YouTube live streaming. We will conduct the private conference for civil works projects with contract ID numbers 25DD0055 to 2050. May I request our head BAC Secretariat, Engineer Queen Marichelle J. Shakita, for the roll call of our attendees.
Good morning. Present from the BAC members are Engineer Leo S. Machas, our BAC chairperson, Mr. Rodel R. Baril, BAC member, and Engineer Jose Crisostomo Villalobos Jr., provisional BAC member. From BAC Secretariat, yours truly, Queen Marichelle J. Shakita, Ms. Janice Villabando, Ms. Maria Cecilia B. and Mr. L.P. Juan. For BAC DPWH, we have any opinion. And to enhance the transparency of our meeting process today, we have invited observers. We are informed that our co-representative will be late. And from our prospective leaders, we have no attendees. Thank you. In attendance, we have 3 BAC member present, so welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Queen. So before we proceed to our agenda, let me remind you the purpose of this of the 2016 revised IRR of RA 9184. It states that the private conference shall discuss, clarify, and explain, among other things, the eligibility requirements and the technical and financial components of contract to be bid, including questions and clarifications raised by the prospective bidders before and during the private conference. So the main purpose of this is to avoid or minimize the rated failed bidding documents during the documents to be submitted during the bidding will follow or comply with the procedure prescribed and to what we are going to discuss here. The private conference provides the procuring entities and prospective bidders clear guidelines and provide an avenue for clarifications to enhance efficient and effective procurement process. So the topics to be discussed will be divided into 4 as follows. Letter A is the brief presentation of the contract data. Letter B is the component of the technical and field proposal. Letter eligibility screening, preliminary examination of bids, evaluation of bids, and post-qualification. And last, letter D is the contract awarding. So the questions or comments from the respective bidders will be entertained after all topics have been presented. So during the discussion, kindly reserve your questions. We will have time for the open forum for all your questions. So for agenda letter A, for the representation of the contract data, may I call on our provisional BAC member.
Morning for the presentation of basic contract data. For contract ID numbers 25DD0045 to 25DD0050, implementing office is the construction section. Projects are under early procurement activities. Projects will be awarded once the approved GAA is released. For contract ID 25DD0045, Convergence and Special Support Program, Sustainable Infrastructure Projects, Alleviating Gaps, SIPAG, Access Roads and or bridges from the national roads, leading to major strategic public building facilities, construction of bridge along approaches, scope of works, construction of 20 linear meter bridge with width of 9.54 meters using type 4 PSCG and 1.2 meter diameter board pile foundation including approaches, 300.6 linear meter road with width of 5 meters and thickness of 0.2 meter, 456 linear meter stone masonry with varying height of 3.12 to 4,012 rear sheet pile, U-type pile cap protection with detour and craneway. Approved budget for the contract, 100,000 pesos. Source of funds, FY 2025 net for DPWH Infra Program. Contract duration 195 calendar days. Size range medium A, license category B. For the major category of works involved in the contract to be bid, BCB, bridges, construction, concrete superstructure with cast-in-place piles. For the similar categories of works are the following. For the minimum major equipment requirements are the following. For contract ID number 24046, Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, BIP, Multipurpose Buildings, Facilities to Support Social Services, Construction, Multipurpose Building, Barangay Payapa, Padre, Garcia, Batangas. Scope of works, completion of 3-story multipurpose building, 10 meters by 9.5 meters, including architectural works, plumbing works, electrical works, installation of 150 kVA transformer, mechanical works, auxiliary works, CCTV system, and construction of 72.98 linear meter low retaining wall. Approved budget for the contract, 6,930,000 pesos. Source of funds, FY 2025 net for DPWH Infra Program. Contract duration, 150 calendar days. Size range, small b, license category C and D. For the major category of works involved in the contract to be bid, BICWO PLC, buildings, construction without piles, low-rise concrete frame, 1 to 5 stories. Similar categories of works are the following. Equipment requirements are the following. For contract ID number 25DD0047, Convergence and Special Support Program, Infrastructure Program, BIP, Multipurpose Buildings, Facilities to Support Social Services, Rehabilitation of Multipurpose Building, Barangay Hall, Barangay Latag, Lipa City, Batangas. Scope of works, rehabilitation 3-story multipurpose building, 10.4 meters, including structural works, plumbing works, ceiling works, roofing works, finishing works, auxiliary works, electrical works, and mechanical works. Approved budget for the contract, 4,950,000 pesos. Source of funds, FY 2025 net for DPWH Infra Program. Contract duration, 90 calendar days. Size range, small b, license category C and D. For the major category, BWO PLC, buildings, construction without piles, low-rise concrete frame, 1 to 5 stories. For the similar categories of works are the following. For the minimum major equipment requirements are the following. For contract ID number 25DD0048, Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, BIP, Multipurpose Buildings, Facilities to Support Social Services, Construction Multipurpose Building, and Healthcare Center, Daycare and Health Center, Barangay Mahanadjong, Taysan, Batangas.
Acknowledging the presence of our representative from COA, Sir Romy Masin.
Scope of works, construction of 2-story multipurpose building, 11.84 meters by 8.95 meters. 1-story building, 8.6 meters by 5 meters and 8 meters by 7 meters, including structural works, architectural works, plumbing works, electrical works, mechanical works, structural works, painting works, interior, installation of doors and windows, floor and wall tiles, ceiling works, plumbing works, and lighting fixtures for ground floor, structural works, and installation of exterior doors, and windows, and toilets. Approved budget for the contract, 4,950,000 pesos. Source of funds, FY 2025 net for DPWH Infra program. Contract duration, 90 calendar days. Size range, small b, license category, C and D. For the major category of works involved in the contract to be bid, BIC, WO, PLC, buildings, construction, piles, for the similar categories of works are the following. For minimum major equipment requirements are the following. For contract ID number 25DD0049, Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, PIP, Multipurpose Buildings, Facilities to Support Social Services, Construction, Completion of Multipurpose Building, Batangas. Scope of work, completion of 2 answer 14.5 meters by 9.08 meters, including architectural works, electrical works, plumbing works, mechanical works for second floor, installation of 137.5 kVA transformer and air conditioning units. Approved budget for the contract, 3,465,000 pesos. Source of funds, FY 2025 net for DPWH Infra program, contract duration 90 calendar days. Size category. For the major category of works involved in the contract to be bid, BIC, WO, PLC, buildings, construction without piles, low-rise concrete frame, 1 to 5 story. For the similar category of works are the following. For the minimum major equipment requirements are the following. For contract ID number 25DD0050, Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, BIP, Multipurpose Buildings, Facilities for Social Services, Construction, Completion of Multipurpose Building, Kalugkub. First, Senior High School, Barangay Kalugkub, San Juan, Batangas. Scope of works, completion of 1-story multipurpose building, 10.5 meters by 10.9 meters, including finishing works, electrical works, installation of solar panels, mechanical works, and air conditioning system. Approved budget for the contract, 2,277,000 2025 net for DPWH construction 60 calendar days. Size range small b, license category C and D. For the major category of works involved in the contract to be bid, BIC, WO, PLC, buildings, construction without piles, low-rise concrete frame 1 to 5 stories. For the similar categories of works are the following. For minimum major equipment requirements are the following. The medium contractors for contract ID number 25DD0045 are the following. For minimum material testing equipment for small contractors for contract ID numbers 25DD0046 to 25DD0050 are the following. For manpower requirements for contract ID number 25DD0045 are the following. For manpower requirements for contract ID numbers 25DD0050 are the following. For manpower requirements for PE, for classification as PE2, the limit of assignments of 10 contract located within the same region for simultaneous assignments, but with an aggregate cost of 1.5 billion. For PE1, 10 contracts located within the same region for simultaneous assignments, each costing not more than 150 million, but with an aggregate cost of 1 billion. For provisional project engineer, 10 contracts located within the same region for simultaneous assignments, each costing not more than 100 million, but with an aggregate cost of 500 million. For materials engineer, 1 one project costing not more than 150 million, or two projects with an aggregate cost of not more than 250 million, or three projects with an aggregate cost of not more than 200 million. For materials engineer 2, one project, no cost limit, or two projects with an aggregate cost of not more than 300 million, or three projects with an aggregate cost of not more than 250 million. Non-accredited materials engineers may be assigned to three projects with an aggregate cost of 15 million or below. For manpower requirements for safety officer, accredited safety officers required upon issuance of notice of award, subject to DEO 98 series of 2014, submission of construction safety and health program approved by the Department of Labor and Employment. For additional requirements for construction safety and health officer, the assigned personnel must meet the requirements of Safety Officer 3 with additional 48 hours of advanced specialized occupational safety training course relevant to the industry as prescribed in the Republic Act number 11058 issued through DEO 198 series of 2018 of DOLE. First aider with certificate of training issued by Red Cross in compliance with DOLE requirements for DEO 98 series of 2014. The key personnel should meet the following number of years work experience. 1. The experience means the total years of civil works experience of any nature in construction and engineering consultancy services. 2. Include the tax identification number of the key personnel. Compliance to DEO 98 series of 2016. Revised guidelines on the accreditation of contractors, consultants, materials engineer. And 3. Include the contact number of the materials engineer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Joey. So for agenda number 3, Engineer Queen Marichelle J. Shankita will further explain the eligibility requirements and the technical and financial components of the contracts to be bid.
Checklist for the preliminary examination of technical and financial proposal. For Class A documents, we have the legal documents. First is the valid purchase registration certificate must meet platinum membership all pages. Under Section 8.5.2 of 2016 Revised IRR, the bidder shall upload and maintain in field jobs a current and updated file of the following Class A eligibility documents under Section 23.1A and 24.1A. Next is the registration certificate from the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, Department of Trade and Industry, or DTI, for sole proprietorship or corporate authority, CPA, for cooperatives. Next, we have the mayor's or business permit issued by the city or the municipality where the principal place of business of the prospective bidder is located, or the equivalent document for exclusive economic zones or areas. A recently expired mayor's or business permit, together with the official receipt as proof of the prospective bidder has applied for renewal within the period prescribed by the concerned local government unit, shall be accepted by PINCHEFs for the purpose of updating the PINCHEF certificate of registration and membership in accordance with Section 8.5.2 of the 2016 Revised IRR. Next, we have the tax clearance for EO number 398 series of 2005 as finally reviewed and approved by the Bureau of Internal Revenue, or the BIR. For technical documents, we have the statement of the bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity with the contract to be bid. Next, we have the statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract, or the SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid except under conditions provided under the rules. Next, we have the valid Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board, or the PICAB license, or special PICAB license in case of joint ventures and registration for the type and cost of the contract to be bid. Next, we have the original copy of bid security and informed surety bond. Submit also a certification issued by the insurance or the original copy of non-res bid security declaration. And for project requirements, you have the organizational chart for the contract to be bid, duly signed list of contractors bid, personnel, recognized numbers of project manager, project engineer, materials engineers, construction safety officer, and foreman. to be assigned to the contract with their complete qualification experience state. These personnel must meet the required minimum years of experience set in the BDS. Third is the duly signed lease of contractor's major construction and laboratory equipments unit to be used to the contract, which are owned, leased, or under purchase agreements supported by the proof of ownership, lease, purchase, or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment master or vendor for the duration of the project. These equipment units must meet the minimum major equipment requirements for the contract set in the BDS. Next is the original duly signed and notarized omnibus sworn statement or the OSS in accordance with section 25.3 of 2016 revised IFR. And for financial documents, the prospective bidder's audited financial statement showing, among others, the prospective bidder's total current assets and liabilities is not received by the BIR or its duly accredited and authorized institution for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of the bid submission. For Class D documents, if applicable, duly signed joint venture agreement or JVA in accordance with RA number 4566 and SIRR. Each partner of a joint venture shall submit their respective pages of certificates of registration in accordance with section 8.5.2 of this IAR. The submission of the technical and financial eligibility documents by any of the joint venture partners constitutes compliance, provided that the partner responsible to submit the NFCC shall never submit the statement of all its ongoing audited financial statement. Bidding forms for the technical documents. You have the bid securing declaration, the contractor's organizational chart, the list of contractor's key personnel, the key personnel's affidavit, the list of contractor's equipment, and the omnibus sworn statement. And for the checklist of the financial proposal, as shown, the financial proposals shall be composed of the following. First is the original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid firm. Next is the original of duly signed bid prices in the bid quantities. Third is the duly accomplished detailed estimate form, including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used in coming up with the bid, and thus is a cash flow of the quarter. Bidding forms for financial documents. You have the bid form, the summary of bid prices, the bill of quantities, and the cash flow. Reminder to our prospective bidders that the bidder shall use the may download this form from DPWH website. So can be obtained from the preferring entity hard copies as part of the bidding documents for the contract for purposes of determining the eligibility of bidders using the criteria stated in section 23.4 2016 revised IR. Only following documents shall be required by the bank using the forms prescribed in the bidding documents. For purchase and submission of bids, a complete set of bidding documents may be offered by the interested bidders until November 19, 2024. Cut-off time is 9:15 a.m. Bidder must have an approved appointment with a specific time schedule. In case of non-appearance, it would automatically means a cancellation of appointment. It is informed that on the day of bid opening, the approved appointment intended for purchasing bidding documents will be limited to 10 prospective bidders only. To strictly follow the bid opening schedule, secure the approved appointment to DPWH Batangas for appointment at gmail.com. Bids submitted manually must be duly received by the Back Secretariat at Bidding Room, DPWH Batangas for District Engineering Office, Maraway, Lipa City, Batangas on or before November 19, 2024 at 9:30 a.m. For submission of bid, for electronic submission of bids for civil works projects, must be sent at electronic bids _Batangas4 at dpwh.gov.ph on or before November 19, 2024 at 9:30 a.m. The procedure should be observed following the Department Order Number 87, Series of 2020. It is also indicated in our bid sheet. All representatives who will submit their bids must be duly authorized and registered liaison officer as reflected in the Contractor's Registration Certificate or the CRC. Authorized representatives are required to present their company ID and one government-issued ID for verification purposes. Thank you.
Okay, that's for second agenda. Thank you, Engineer Quinn. So for the third agenda, the explanation of criteria for eligibility screening, preliminary examination of bids, evaluation of bids, and post-qualification will be presented by Engineer Jenny Pineda, our DWG member.
The explanation of preliminary examination of bids, eligibility,
for preliminary examination of bid for technical proposal. The purpose of this examination is solely to determine the presence or absence of each of the required documents comprising the bid, as stated in section 3.5.2, using a simple non-discretionary pass if present or fail if absent criterion with the aid of checklist. The bank shall first open and undertake the preliminary examination of the envelope containing the technical components of the bids. The bank shall determine each bidder's compliance with the documents required to be submitted for the technical components. If the required document is present, the technical component shall be rated as passed for the particular requirement. On the other hand, if the required documents is absent, for example missing, incomplete, or patently insufficient, the technical component shall be rated as failed for the particular requirement. The bank shall rate the technical components as failed and immediately return to the bidder concerned each second envelope, the financial component, and open. For preliminary examination, the receipt of scanned copies of the first forms prescribed in 2016 revised IRR, which are for online or electronic bid submission, shall be considered as compliant with the requirements of the said bid submission, subject to the submission of the original copies of the following: were one, bid securing declaration of or other form of bid securing excluding cash, and the omnibus sworn statement. This form shall be submitted by the bidders and duly received by the bank concerned during the post-qualification stage. The non-submission of these forms on the said period shall render the bid submission as a non-compliant and shall result in the disqualification of the bid. For eligibility screening, after the preliminary examination of the technical components of the bids, the bank, assisted by its bank secretary, shall conduct the eligibility check of each bidder that passed in the documentary requirements for the technical components of the bids. The bank shall determine if the bidder is eligible to bid for the contract being procured. This shall be done electronically using the DPWH CWA. The CWA program will then electronically process and match the bidder's capability or eligibility data in the CWA value of the SLCC for major similar categories of the work and actual NFCC against the eligibility requirements for the contract derived from the CP earlier entered into the CWA section 4.8.2. Required SLCC costing at least 50% of ABC and NFCC at least equal to ABC. The computer program will automatically determine if the bidders meets the following eligibility requirements. A. The cost of the bidder's SLCC is at least 50% of the ABC of the projects to be procured. The bidder's NFCC is at least equal to ABC of the project to be procured. However, the contractor under small B category without similar experience on the contract to be may be allowed to bid up to 30 million based on the guidelines as prescribed by the contract. The bank shall open the second envelope of each past bidder and shall evaluate it using non-discretionary criteria including arithmetical corrections for computational errors and then determine the current total calculated bid prices. The bank shall automatically disqualify any total calculated bid price which exceeds the ABC. Receipt of the scanned copies of the second bid envelope with the required forms such as the duly signed bid form, price schedules, or other forms prescribed in 2016 revised IRR, electronic or online bid submission shall be considered as compliant with the requirements of the said bid submission. For bid evaluation, the bank will immediately conduct detailed evaluation of all bids using non-discretionary criteria considering the following. For the statement of bid, unless the instruction to bidders specifically allow partial bids not addressing or providing all the required items in the bidding documents including where applicable bill of quantities shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. In this regard, where a required item is provided but no price is indicated, the same shall be considered as non-responsive but is specifying a zero or a dash for the said item would remain being offered for sale to the government except the and for arithmetical corrections, consider computational errors and omissions to enable proper comparison of all eligible bids. It may also consider bid modification if expressly allowed in the bidding documents. Any adjustment shall be calculated in monetary terms to determine the calculated prices. In case of discrepancy between the bid prices in figures and invoice, the latter shall prevail. For the total price per item and unit price for the item as extended or multiplied by the item, the latter for stated total prices and the actual sum of prices of components item, the latter shall prevail. Unit cost in the detailed estimate and unit cost in the view of quantities, the latter shall prevail. Bids shall then be ranked in the ascending order of their total calculated bid price, as evaluated and corrected for computational errors. In other bid modifications, identify the lowest calculated bid. Total calculated bid prices as evaluated and corrected for computational errors. ABC shall be disqualified. For post-qualification, bids shall undergo post-qualification in order to determine whether the bidder concerned complies with and is responsive to all the requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents. Within the 5 calendar days for the receipt by the bidder of the notice from the bank that the bidder has the lowest calculated bid, the bidder shall submit to the bank its latest income, business returns, and permits required by the law and stated in the bidding documents. Failure to submit any of the post-qualification requirements on time or a finding against the veracity thereof shall disqualify the bidder for award, provided that in the event that a finding against the veracity of any of the documents submitted is made, it shall cause the forfeiture of bid security in accordance with the section 69 of this IRR. The post-qualification shall verify the deed of all Class A eligibility documents supporting the future certificate of registration and membership in accordance with section 8.5.2 of this IRR, and all the other statements made and documents submitted by the bidders with the lowest calculated bid using non-discretionary criteria as stated in the bidding documents. This criteria shall consider but not be limited to the following: legal requirements to verify validity and permit, and the fact that is not included in any blacklist as provided in section 25.3 of 2016 revised IRR. For technical requirements, verification and validation of the bidder's stated competence and experience, and the competence and experience of the bidder's key personnel to be assigned to the project for the procurement of infrastructure project and consulting services. Verification of availability and commitment and or inspections and testing of equipment, units to be owned, leased, under purchase by the bidder for use in the contract under bidding, as well as checking the performance of the bidder and its ongoing government and private contracts if any of this ongoing contract shows negative slippage of at least 15% in any one project or a negative slippage of at least 10% in each of 2 or more contracts. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on ongoing contracts within 7 calendar days and to complete them within calendar days of this notice of defect and deficiency. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on contracts with pending certificates of acceptance within 30 calendar days and complete them within 90 calendar days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defect and failure, or substandard quality of work as per contract plan and specification, or unsatisfactory performance of the contractor's obligation as per contract terms and conditions at the time of inspection. DEO 38 strict application of RA in the conduct of the post-qualification of the bidders with the delayed ongoing contracts with the DPWH. If the bank verifies any of these deficiencies to be due to the contractor's fault or negligence, the agency shall disqualify the contractors from the award for the procurement of infrastructure projects. For financial requirements to verify, validate, and ascertain the bid price proposal of the bidders and whenever applicable, The bidders FCC bidders with the lowest calculated bid passes all the criteria for cost qualification, which shall declare the said bid as the lowest calculated responsive bid.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Jenny. So for last agenda, the contract awarding. So the contract shall be awarded to the bidder whose bid has been determined to be the lowest calculated and responsive bid and post qualification conducted. The contract award should be made within the bid validity period. So in accordance with the Department Order Number 11 Series of 2021 and RA 9184 and its IRR, Section 37.1.4, the Notice of Award or NOAA shall require the bidder with the LCRB to submit to the procuring entity within 10 calendar days from the bidder's receipt of the NOAA, the past condition for any of the. So letter A is the Notice of Award or NOAA with the bidder's sign conform. Letter B is the authority of signing official, board resolution, or secretary's certificate. Letter C for joint venture, contractors pickup, special JV license, and JV agreement. Letter D is the performance security in accordance with the Section 39 of revised IRR. Letter E is the construction method used for DPWH-INFR construction in the precedence diagram and bar chart with S-curve or other approved tools of project scheduling and cash flow. Use form DPWH-INFR-46. Letter G for manpower schedule. Use form DPWH-INFR-47. Letter H for equipment utilization schedule. Use form DPWH-INFR-48. Letter I for construction safety and health program. Use form DPWH-INFR-48. Initially of the Department of Labor and Employment. Letter J is the contractor's all risk insurance or CARI. Letter K is the latest income tax and business returns duly stamped and received by the BAR and duly validated with the tax payments made. Tax clearance from the BAR to prove full and timely payment of the taxes. And letter L for local contractors. Certification under oath stating that the contractor is free and clean of all tax liabilities. So for performance security under Section 39 of RA 9184 and its IRR, the performance security shall remain valid until issuance by the procuring entity of the Certificate of Final Acceptance. Section 39.4, the performance security may be released by the procuring entity after the issuance of the Certificate of Final Acceptance, subject to the following condition. Letter A is the procuring entity has no claims, contract awardee, or the surety company. Letter B, it has no claims for labor and terms of the contract. So under Section 39.5, for the procurement of infrastructure projects, the winning bidder shall post an additional performance security following the schedule above to over a cumulative increase of more than 10% over the original value of the contract as a result of the amendments to order or change orders, extra work orders, and agreements as the case may be. The winning bidder shall cost the extension of performance security contract time extensions. For contractors or CARI, as per Department Order 172 series of 1994, additional premium will be paid in cases where contract time is extended due to additional works or where a project cost is increased for similar reason without necessarily extending the contract time. Work form of change order, extra work orders, or the approved additional works. So any supplemental or bid bulletin issued by the BAC shall be posted on the PILGEMS and the website of the procuring entity concerned, if available. So for other matters, So just a reminder to all our prospective bidders, all bidding documents should be printed in A4 size bond paper, properly paginated with its contents appropriately eartagged. All copies and all pages of the bid are duly signed by the prospective bidders. Okay. So let's now proceed to the open forum. So for comments and queries from our prospective bidders, viewers, and other attendees, the forum is now open for all your questions, comments, or clarifications. So for the COP members, none. To our back secretary, none. To our PWG, none. To our observers, none. To our viewers by YouTube live streaming, none. So we have no attendee for the prospective bidder. Okay. So hearing none, so everything is clear. I hereby adjourn the conference at 10:02 in the morning. Thank you.